In other institutions, they call it the accounts department. But in GFF, it's called the finance department. And this finance department is headed by the finance director, which is then deputized by myself. And then you have the finance manager, and then you have two finance officers within the GFF finance department at the headquarters. And then supported by 7 regional finance and admin officers. So in total, this will give you 11 finance personnel for the GFF covering the region in the country. Yes.
Interesting. Can you give us how, in terms of operating, how do you operate with other departments? Because we understand there are a lot of departments here at the football house, namely you have competitions and communications, respectfully. Tell us, how is it easy for the accounts department to interlink with this other departments?
Okay, just to make it very precise, first, like I said, the department is headed by the finance director, who are more of finance and governance. So we interrelate with other departments through the finance director with his colleagues of the various directors in other departments, such as the technical director, the competition directors, and the marketing director. These are all functions where now the GFF, through the directors, relates to other functional departments. Now, when it comes now, for example, coming down to my own function, who is the senior finance manager, I oversee the financial activities of the department and the GFF as a whole. That is, during the year, more of the scrutiny is done on my text, supported by the compliance department, to ensure whatever we're spending is in line as dictated by the GFF constitution. That's one. And equally, respectively to what has been approved in the AGM, and also advise the entity as we are going. The finance manager also oversees the 7 regional finance and admin officers. He monitors their activities, they report to him. We communicate through the finance manager to them. So mainly, this is the way we work in tangent with all the departments in the GFF.
Interesting. What are the assumptions in terms of support to all of these mentions that you've made?
Okay, like dictated by the GFF constitution, every year, like we said, GFF has to prepare what we call a draft budget as dictated by the GFF constitution, and which have to be submitted to an annual general meeting. So now, on the basis of preparing this budget, what we have 2 factors that we consider. That is, one, assumptions has to be made for the budget based on the trend and realities of the federation. Likewise, we also have to look at the budget rationale, because this will now form the basis of preparing the budget. So now, in this, what we do is, we have, like example, come down to, by October, we send a communique for a call-off for draft budget from the various departments through the director of finance to other directors, so that each department now will prepare at their level what they presume to implement during the coming year, and this is what they will send. And when they send it as department, then myself, the senior finance manager, and the finance manager will put all this departmental budget together to have what we call the draft master budget at 0. And now, from here now, we start examining what we have vis-a-vis the expectation that we are expecting to have from our partners, mainly FIFA and CAF. Like, it's no hidden that GFF major source of funding is from FIFA, then followed by CAF, and then government also support the activities of the national team. So in the assumption, when we are preparing budget, this is why these are a very important area, because normally people just mention the funds that are being sent to GFF. not understanding that these funds also has to follow specific rules. The assumption is to continue, we have a good working for a government's requirement to able to continue access funding from FIFA. We must be able to attain the FIFA audit, the GFF statutory audit, and we must be able to hold the executive committee meetings and approval from the AGM on a yearly basis, and other governance and compliance requirements by FIFA and CAF, which have other 11 credentials to enable you to have the funding from FIFA. And also, during this assumption, we make assumption based on the prevailing rate. We look at the performance of the dollar-C against the dollar during the past period and make an forecast of when we are preparing the budget. Like the budget for 2024, the assumption was that the dollar assumed to be $65. It could be more than that, but at the time of preparation of the budget, the highest IP that we could have provided was $65 for a dollar, meaning that will be one of our bases for the budget. And the other thing is we assume that we continue to have the support of 1.2 million, 250,000 US dollar from FIFA, so that the solidarity support of $250,000, the FIFA equipment support of $50,000, and that of the CAF operational support of $250,000. This is the assumption that will now guide the parameter to prepare our budget as GFF. Meaning, whatever we are going to prepare, we have to ensure it falls within whatever this total is going to be in dollars. Because you cannot budget for something that you actually don't have.
Yeah.
You understand? And then, the second part of the budget factor that we consider is what we call the rationale.
So what happens if these procedures you've mentioned are not followed with due process? What happens?
If you have single defect in any of these that are mentioned, that is the central audit, the statutory audit, the AGM approval, and any other thing, that means you will not be entitled to have funding from FIFA. Because these are requirements. They are primary and key requirements for you to have your funding continuing being supported by FIFA. Yes. Now, on the budget rationale,
yes.
You will realize that these were also, we try to develop what we call the internal policies and procedure of the GFF. You understand?
Yeah.
And then we will look at and come to agreement to say this number of percentage goes to administrative cost, while the other this number of percentage goes to promotion and development of football. The administrative costs normally are what? Indirect costs. You understand? And then the other aspect, which obviously to promote and develop football, is where the main activities of football itself takes place. So in the 2024 budget preparation, the assumption was that 24% will be allocated to administration. While 76% will be on promotion and development football. Then we also look at other allocations. You know, we have to support all our primary stakeholders, for example. And then we have to also support our clubs, the regional allied associations. And then this also is measured against what we call the agreed objective. The agreed objective with FIFA is just as equal as your strategic document, which is for a period of 4 years. Meaning whatever you're going to do has to be within this agreed objective for FIFA to approve your funding for the year under review. Yeah.
Is there any possibility, like you mentioned, 76% funds for promotion and development and 24%, is there any possibility that you will have deficits or maybe be short at some point and then switch funds from, let's say, administration to football development? Does that happen?
Yes, that could happen. That could happen. but it is very rare in the case because we want to protect to ensure we spend more on the promotion and development of football. Normally what actually happens is we try to take from the administrative costs to subsidize for promotion and development of football. Yeah.
That is interesting. Now we go to the support to stakeholders. This is very, very important for people that are following football in the Gambia. Let's talk about that, and how does your department kind of make sure everything is balanced, because this is one of the most key components of the football house.
Okay, in supporting to the various stakeholders, what we do is we have support for preparative cost and administrative cost. We have support for leagues, and also we have program support. You understand? So the preparative and admin cost or the league support goes in a form of cash payment to the various stakeholders, including other allied associations. Like for example, in 2024 budget, a total amount of 25.7 million was allocated for support to stakeholders. And this includes clubs, allied associations, and the regions to attain the aspect of their administrative performance and also to prepare them better for the league. For example, all the male first division, what we allocated was $150,000 for preparation and administrative purpose, and $50,000 for league preparation. Likewise, Division 2 was $100,000 and $50,000 respectively. Then the male first division and second division were given the same amount as, and also that of the second division were also given the same amount. So in terms of the regions, the 7 regional football association, we allocated 250,000 was allocated, and 1.5 was allocated to support for the support of their league activities in the various regions. And while like the allied association were also supported in the area of the administrative purpose, $125,000. While schools football, on top of the 125,000, the allocation of 3 million also was provided. This is how the league support was shared to them for the budget in the year 2024. And the allied association were also provided with program support, because these are critical. All these stakeholders to go to do their activities in to consolidate their funding gap, just like the GFF is doing.
Interesting. I know the stakeholders, especially the footballers, will be watching this, and of course it has to do with money and league price and everything that has to do with the current competition going on and, and second division.
Exactly. There are other costs that we do not quantify, but it is an ongoing activity. That is one, a free registration. We all know clubs were actually supposed to pay registration fee. We should have been an income for the entity, but these have been ongoing and be given to them on gratis, free. And these are important also to mention. And equally, it was also agreed that out of the net gate takings from the league, 30% of each match shall be paid to clubs to consolidate more for their league preparations and league matches. And equally, on top of that, transport support for Division 2 matches are also provided for between the region where they go and play. Example, Soma. If you're from West Coast to Soma, it's $10,000. If from KM to Soma, it is $12,000. If you're from Banjul to Soma, it's $14,000. You know, while within the West Coast, you have 3-5, KM 5,000. This is mainly goes to women football. But you realize that here the support goes most to women football. because male football, we are only concerned with the Division 2 matches.
Interesting. Gambia Football Federation giving all of this to their stakeholders, registration free, and with all other benefits the clubs are receiving. I will own a team, I'm sure, very soon, maybe in 1 year or so. Well, moving on, we'll talk about the League Cup and prices, which I believe is very important. Last season we saw an increase, and this time around we're going to see the same, I believe, Mr. Njai.
Yeah, actually, when we talk about league and league prices for the season 2023-2024, you realize that at the end of the whole league, both the league and the FA, we are going to dispose nothing less than $5.3 million for league prizes, being first and second division for both male and female. Like, for example, in the male category, we will dispose a total amount of 3.3 million, while female we will dispose the total amount, which is the first division, acquired Tulu Baluo. So these have actually increased, have given them more benefit, and whilst we are still looking for other sponsors to close the gap for women. Institutions, to corporate institutions, to come forward and support the Women League as part of their women empowerment activities. For example, in the male league, the winner is 1 million, and the second position is 500,000, and the third place is 250,000. Likewise, in Division 2, you have 500,000 as winner, 250, 125, and then you look at the FF Cup, which will go, the winner for male is 300,000, 200,000, and 100,000. Likewise, the Super Cup, which was 150,000. So while the female, in the female Division 1, it was 500,000, 250,000, 125,000. And then we go to Division 2, which was 300, 150, 100,000. And equally, we go to the FF Cup for women, 200,000, 150, 100,000. So in actual sense, when we put all these total league prices together, it's going to cost the GFF $5.3 million.
5.3 million.
Exactly.
Wow. That's a huge amount with the league price and cup prices from the league to the FF Cup and of course to the Super Cup respectively. Now let's look at the analysis. What is expected? What are the expected revenues when it comes to all of this budgets?
Actually, if you look at in total, the expected income based on our assumptions, we were assuming that, like I mentioned earlier, the $1,250,000 remain. The travel solidarity support remain 250 or increases. The equipment support $50,000 remain, and then CAF also forthcoming. Apart from those ones that were mentioned earlier, the other aspect that we have factored was 1.6 million as gate takings for our league matches. And local support, local sponsorship, we projected it to be $15.7 million during the period. And also income through training of coaches and of the various category of licensing, which was going to be 2.1 million. So all our incomes together from FIFA was going to be 103 million, is going to be $16.250 million. And the training for others will have been $2.39 million, of which FIFA is going to, of the total income expected for the GFF, it would have only be 1%, and the registration coming from the various coaching courses that we are going to do was going to raise probably 2% of the total funds. And it's actually these total funds now that is also earmarked and distributed among the various expected budget from the various departments of the GFF. And in this, you realize that, like I said, we have two cost centers. Indirect. The indirect cost, those are the ones that look at our staff cost, our administrative cost. That is non-program. That is our non-program activities. These are administrative. You know, our stationery, our electricity, and that in total for all the departments when we put it together. Which is like 9.5% of the indirect 1%, which is 0.3, and the youth and grassroots had marketing communication had 2.4, which is 3.2 million, and this it goes the highest actually went to administration and technical, and that of competition. These are the main driving factors of our consumption of our budget. And obviously, you know also, this is the arms of football in the Gambia. This on the competition department, technical department, and obviously also the, like you know, we created and had a communication manager, sorry, how do you call it, commercial manager, so that he can boast, remember the 15.7 million that we put, so that he will be able to help us to raise those source of funding. And then we come down to what we call the promotion of football, promotion and development of football, which obviously it is 105 million. For the promotion and development of football, out of which general administration is 2.2 million, and the finance department is 700,000. The referees unit is 7.6 million. Marketing and communication is 1 million. Youth and grassroots football is 17 million. Women football is 9.3 million. Competition department is 59 million. Technical department is 7.9 million. Medical of 105 million. So this 105 million is what in the promotion and development of football. Out of these activities are taking place, our support million, 42.6%, followed by youth and grassroots, which is 12, that is technical development, which is $7.9 million. Government support in the budget 2024. And there is also no allocation. What we have in the 2024 budget, like we all know, we receive 250. Anytime we spend on the A team, that means a particular component of a whole budget.
It's been sacrificed.
It's been sacrificed for the purpose of the national team. Because the national team budget cannot be here to be included and be submitted to FIFA. Because FIFA funding is not for national team A matches. It's just to supplement for the facilitation of their matches. And this is why the $250,000 that FIFA normally gave us is being distributed across all our national team that are going to take part during the period on the review. Like 2024, all the teams that are going to participate, all that we have is $250,000, which was I think it was 16.2 million from my earlier presentation of the income.
So I want to understand, because you have been spending so much money on the A team. How do you recover spending all of these finances at the A team, and which you clearly mentioned that these are money dedicated for other areas?
Yes, Mariam, this is why if you look at our last AGM, it is categorically clear in our financial statement. We are 62 million loan. So one, how we cover this is getting loan from the banks. And while we get this loan from the bank, we sit with the hope that government will send in money later or reimburse. If doesn't happen, then we bear it. In addition to these loans that we take to the bank, the other thing is to go now. You know, what we do is we now have to look at for other component of the promotion and development of football and even administration, and then we scrap it off. Scrapping means we cannot implement. And this is why during the year, you will observe that we will owe clubs preparative cost.
Yeah.
We will owe clubs transport refund. We will owe clubs prices. Because now, if one national team activity, for the A team alone, for example, average is 21 million. And now, you were supposed to play in a particular year, home and away 5 times. That means you have 10 games to play. So automatically, the total amount required for the national team alone is far more than the entire 138 million that GFF is going to receive from FIFA.
From FIFA.
And this is where the federation gets struggle ongoing. And equally, you will not see, apart from the coaching staff, that are the local staff salary, that is the U20, the Chan coach, that is Alaji Sarr, the U23, that is T-Boy, Abdou Jame, Lai Bojang, and then when Matar was here, these are the only personnel costs that are part of this budget. But regarding the A-team coach, it is just treated as the national team coach. It does not fall part of our budget. Because the assumption is always okay, government will come in, government will come in. Remember, the basis of this budget, like we started, that's why we first look at the assumptions.
Yeah.
And now, that's why now, if you want to look at the inflows that are coming to the GFF, without understanding the basis of the GFF budget for a particular million for 4 years, which is $750,000 per year. If you are unable to access it in that particular year, meaning you can still move on to the following year. Like example, if you look at the GFF, up to now, we are the 3.0 has we have finalized closing the 2.0. So that's why in 2024 we could not cater anything on projects on our budget. Yeah. Because it's obvious that you have to close a particular phase to open a new phase.
Interesting, Ismail Ajay, he is the finance manager of the Gambia Football Federation. That is the breakdown of the budgeting that we have here at the Football House. But before we go to the local languages, let us talk about you know, some of the government and of course what happens if government do not continue supporting the national teams? Is it going to increase the loan incurred at the GFF budget, or is it going to bring much more lapses when it comes to expenditure?
It's unfortunate because of time constraint for this time around. I could not go in detail. But let's say in the next presentation, we are going to look at the budget as per departments so that the general public can understand it better. Do you understand? So that when I say 5 million, we will know what is in the breakdown of this 5 million.
What the 5 million is all about.
Exactly. So, and then, coming to your question, funding the national team by the federation is not sustainable. It's not sustainable. Because, like example, like I said, now, if you have 138 million, and half of the 138 million is marked against your loan balance for year 1. In year 2, that means the other 50% that is remaining, you will take part of it to add it against to the loan. Because one, the loans are expensive. And the banks cannot keep on giving you when you cannot pay part of the revolving loan, the existing loan.
Yeah.
So automatically, that's why I say funding national team A and even other categories is not sustainable by the federation, especially when the national team start performing. Those days, the national team, when they started newly, you could understand, you pay them 500 euro. But now, how much are you paying them from last year? We all know.
The standard is out there. Right?
It's up.
Yeah.
It's from 500,000, 500 euros has increased to what? 2,500 euros. And the more you perform, let's assume now we win to go to World Cup. Do you think that players will still accept the 2,500 euros? No.
They want to increase a little bit.
Exactly, because the more they are winning, going for high competition, the more their value also is increasing. It's a norm. It's like the more you go to university and bank in more degrees and more degrees, you want to get more pay.
More pay.
If you don't get more pay, what do? You leave that institution and move to another institution.
Absolutely.
So actually, this is what is happening also with the national team, and this is the reality. This is where we have to come as a nation.
Yes.
You understand? We should forget about our differences. We come together and share ideas. Encourage people to come and invest in football. We are now talking about the professional league coming. Obviously, this is where everybody also hands is needed. Because we have to come. We, the GFF, government, the private sector, and the ordinary Gambian have to come to make the dream of having the professional league a reality to move forward.
Comme Ismaila lu ko waxee rek dama bëgg rek ñu break ko down because dama bëgg nit ñi ñu understand lan ñu waxtaanee tey mu nekk interesting soo waxee mbiri xaalis moom ñëpp a si dee am soxla mu nekk loo xam ne dafa interesting Mr Njie just pour tënk ko rek lu ñu waxtaanee si àngale GFF naka leen di running seen professional cost of suñu si wàllum xaalis especially si li nga xam ne mooy contributions to stakeholders ak lu ñu mel pour tënk ko rek.
Waaw jërëjëf Mariama yaa góorgóorlu si kàllaama alors parce que yombut. waaw waaye naa ji.
waaw.
lu ma bëgg a xamal mbokki Gambien yi ak ñu déglu mooy ñun suñu liggéey si mbiri contrat si anglais mooy ñëpp am nañ mooy finance dépense mooy balaa at bu ees di ñëw ñu ngi wax weeri octobre si tubaab weeri octobre su jotee ñoo yónnee baxaara si département si yëpp si suñu turi directeur si yeneen directeur si amee ñoo nekk si yeneen baxaan si comme competition département technical department marketing and communication department directeur su fa nekk won leen ni waxtu jot na pour gars yi defar seen draft budget soo dee draft budget si laaki anglais mooy gars yi gëstu ñoom at bu ees buy ñëw waaw lan la gars yi bëgg a dépense parce que si yëngatu mooy leen di wax du gars yi war a dépensé su fa jógee su ko gars yi indee ñun ñu amee mbiri dépense dañoo boole yëpp seet ay xayma bi du mu toll
parce que xayma bu dee jógee si baaxaas yu noonu dégg moo dee ko quoi trop ñun lu ñoo séntu si suñu naataango yooyu mooy FIFA CAF ak li ñoo séntu ni dina mun a am si ñuy sponsor comme lay ma suñu ma si partenaire yi ñu wax Balwo ak gannaaw loolu tamit li ñoo séntu mooy ñoo jàllale di coaching la leen war a fay ñaata la gars yi fay foo ñu tënkal yëpp ak suñu loi suuf bëri tàggat yaram bi comme lay pour projet bi nga am fii bi foofu ñaata la ñoo am foofu yooyu ñoo jënd tool yi so si biir liggéey boobu liggéey bi lu ñu dee sànq mooy ngeen mooy da ngaa seet yow sa naataango ko ñooy liggéeyal mooy ñu laa jox dépense ñoom parce que comme lay FIFA ñoom de laa wax ni ñeneen di at bu nekk lii la tegal ni at bu nekk mun nga see jot lii so ñun dinañ natal loolu teg ko ñu jógee foofu FIFA tamit dañoo ñëw balaa at bu kees di ñëw at bu maate bi gars yi dañuy yónnee ñoom seen ñëw gars yi seen liggéeykat yi am na ñu leen di wax seen boppam gars yi ñëw gëstu ñoom seen dépense bi si boppam.
waaye sarta yi dañoo war a am pour dox si yooyu noonu.
waaw sarta bi pour nga continuer di jot xaalis si FIFA fu nga am lu ñoo wax FIFA audit at bu nekk. FIFA dañoo ñëw gëstu seen boppa xamal seen boppa nga jógee foofu nga am lu ñoo wax gëstu bu mag bi boo xamee boobu la jëf santa audit yooyu jógee si biti ñun tamit ñu def ko muy xaalis si FIFA muy xaalis si GFF si boppa de lu ñoo wax tamit GFF tamit ñu fa bokk yi dafa am jamono boo xamee dañu dajaloo lu ñoo wax dañoo dajaloo pour waxtaan bi ñu ko tuddee annual general meeting ak bu nekk benn yoon la boobu dee am boobu foofu la ñoo teg taabu nii liggéey boobu la ñu santoon jógee janvier bu passé ak bu jógee nii ba 31 décembre nangam leen si am nangam leen si suñu liggéey jéego yi ñu foog na jël si liggéey bi tamit lii mooy su manqué léegi jógee si loolu pour dem kanam lii leen xayma ni yaakaar ne ko at buy ñëw di seet lu ñoo wax train suñu liggéey foog ne ni lii at buy ñëw nii dina mun a amaat lii dina mun a amaat lii fu ëppoon woon leen ni foofu ëpp na yaa ngi gis den suñ fa jógee ñu seet yeneen faana xam ne mooy ñoo wax governance mooy seet ndax annual general meeting daf lay am ak order committees yu am parce que GFF am nañ comité yu bëri te yooyu yëpp ñu doon liggéey si at bi den suñ fa jógee FIFA ñun si suñu liggéey ak kii li ñu FIFA jox ak dundee am from FIFA mooy lu ñuy wax operational cost mooy naka la fédération bi di doxee benn milliard ñaar téeméer ak juróom fukki dollar ne ñu ko jox pour loolu beneen bi mooy lu ñuy wax travel solidarity bii Gambia ñun dañ ko jëlee xaymal ko pour jàppale suñu national team si mooy ñaari téeméer ak juróom fukki junne dollar ñu jógee foofu du ñoo wax équipement support mooy gis nga mooy gars yi gis leen kam mooy saala yi gars yi sol nii boobu tamit dañoo wax équipement support mooy juróom fukki junne dollar den lu ndee jot tamit si kaaf moom bu sax ñoom dafa séntu pour dimbali lu ñoo wax youth and grassroots football ñoom ñaareel seen xaalis foofu leen di yóbbu ak tel parce que xaalis yi ñëw yëpp dafa am sax nekkul ni da ngaa gëstu rek dama moo bëgg ma defar léegi dafa am sax so kaaf ñoom tamit dinañ joxe ci at bi ñaari téeméer ak fukki junne dollar so suñu xaymee lii yëpp lii moo ñëw woon ñun léegi naka la mën naa dépense so si biir lii tamit dañ dee xool suñu policy bi woon parce que dañ am sax la mooy ñun dépense xaalis fot lu ñoo wax 40% dafa war a demoon si administrative cost lu ñoo wax 60% boobu dafa war a dem pour develop football ak promote football léegi comme like at bu ñun si at bu nekk nii mooy 2024 ñun last project bi 40% bi pour administration bi ñu ko wàññi. waaw dañ ko wàññi jógee 40 indi ko 24%. parce que gis nañ ni teexa yu bëri lañ am si soo ñëwee base yi promotion and development football su da ngaa ni 60% mu leen ne mooy rôle bi woon pour def ko si promotion and development football dañ koy yokka jógee 60% mu dem 76%. meaning si promotion and development football jëlee si xaalis bu mu war a dugaloon si administration du dem si fukk ak juróom-benn % boobu leen wàññi si administration yokka ko si promotion of development football. léegi si gannaaw loolu tamit ñu gëstu lan lañ war a naka leen war a mën a dimbalee suñ stakeholders yi ñu war a dimbalee suñ stakeholders yi ak clubs ak suñ regional football associations yi parce que ñu tamit dañ war a liggéey. so si kaw loolu ñun tamit te leen dee jàppale so si biir jàppale boobu dañoo ñëw ñu am lu ñoo wax support to stakeholders. waaw support to stakeholders yi parce que waxtu bi dafa gàtt. waaw dañ dee dépense lu ñoo $25.7 million léeg-léeg day jox parce que su xaymee division 1 ñu ngi am fukk ak juróom-benni team bi team bu nekk dinañ la jox $200 Gambia ba pare lu ñoo wax division 2 18 team moo fa nekk ñu tam dinañ leen téeméer ak juróom fukki junne dalasi Gambia su ma fa jógee ñu dem muy tànn ak team yi jigéen ñi muy force ak seconde ñu jox góor yi ñun tamit loolu leen jox waaye ñoom force division bi nga am 10 seconde division bi nga am 12 dañ ñu dem suñu regional association si dañ leen dee jox $200 juróom fukki junne dalasi pour seen mbiri administration. loolu annually mooy juróom-ñaari bànqaas yu am ci réew mi pour ñu jëmbale seen booba pour doxal ñu tam seen office bi parce que ñu ñoo fay seen staff so ñoom ñu dee fay staff ñu ñooy fay staff. waaw boobu tamit den ci kaw loolu ñu ngi xayma ni dinañ jàppale gars yi junne $1 milliard ak juróomi junne dalasi mooy 1.5 pour regional football association bu nekk dem su fa jógee su yeneen membres yi membres yi mooy ñu jox leen $100 ak juróomi junne dalasi ku nekk waaye si kaw junne ak ñaar fukk ak juróomi téeméeri dalasi bii school football da leen di allocate la ne ngaay $2 milliards pour seen activités waaw so nii la di demee waaye gannaaw loolu tamit lu ñoo wax programme support loo xam ne xayma mu ko dee xayma
maanaam xaalis bi dafa dee nekk.
dafay nekk su programme bi ñëwee comme like suñu amee proposal pour capacity dañ leen di support suñu amee programme pour referee dañ leen di support su gars yi tukki dañ leen di support so da ngaa gis ni lii yëpp dem nañu na moo laa jox naka ñaar fukk ak juróom-ñaari milliards lii leen di jox pour suñu membres yi ñoom tamit mën a jàppale ko. gannaaw loolu tamit. gannaaw loolu tamit first division especially first division ak second division dañ leen jaay ticket ñun suñ jaayee ticket lu ñoo printé ticket suñ ko fa génnee lu des dañ ko di xaajale séddale ko seen diggante mooy équipe bu nekk team bu nekk dina am ñetti fukki percent mooy 30% of it waaw suñ fa jógee tamit comme ni nga ko dee waxee dundee fay club si dundee fay registration bi dañ ko dee jox free parce que xamoon ne suñ caayee registration dafa war a ne comme pour fédération su gars yi di tamit diggante Kombo ak Son soo jógee goxi Brikama dañ laa jox fukki junne dalasi nga mun a yokka dimbale sa bopp paas su fekkoon goxi kéem ngay jógee Kanifi ah boobu fukkaak ñaari junni 12,000 dollars su fekkoon nag Banjul nga jógee fukkaak ñeenti junni mooy 14,000 dollars boobu leen day jox gars yi den su fa jógee lu ñoo wax league prices tamit lu su ko xaymee yëpp juróomi milliard ak juróomi milliard ak ñetti téeméeri junni dalasi boobu lañu lay dépense pour suñu league prices yooyu sax so da ngaa
mooy 5.3 million.
waaw 5.3 million so this 5.3 million boobu tamit boo dee xayma diggante góor yi ak jigéen ñi waaw waaye lii yëpp dañ ko dee waxtaanee suñu demee suñu penc bi bu ñoo wax AGM gannaaw loolu tamit ñoo wax suñu expenditure si soo xoolee li ñoo wax indirect cost boobu jël na 33.2 million dollars waaye di 33.2 million dollars bii lan moo fa jënaa maa mooy general administration parce que general administration boobu pour ñëpp la mu ñu nekk technical ñu nekk fa ñëpp parce que fooy bi ñoo jënda pour ñëpp la courant bi ñoo defar pour ñëpp la comme naa seen couvre bi courant boo leen di fenn yëpp wala boogal so yëpp ni la dee demee dañu dem to promotion and development football boobu dañ lay am lu ñoo wax 105 million soo gisee maam waaw moo tax soo xoolee mënuma dinga dem si biir dama doon di lim rek den dinañ am waxtu boo xamee jamono boo xamee dinañ ñëwaat xool benn waaw ñu seet benn so boobu dinañu 105 million waaye si loolu bu ko doole yëpp ñu dem si compétition foofu la suñu ligue bi nekka foofu la ñuy support teams and everything boobu rek si 105 million moom jël na almost gën a wala parce que jël na 42.6% soo ko xoolee at 1 point and less than 1 point and I was talking about use and craft with 12.3%. Then now we know technical development 5.7. So si gàttal go ko liggéey am ñaar lu na mooy lu ñu national mooy soo xoolee budget bi amul ci national team parce que amul njëriñ national team FIFA seen xaalis bu bëri nangu pour national team ñu la lay jox rek mooy $250,000 pour faciliter waaw pour faciliter pour faciliter dal rek comme like membre du GFF war nañoo bokkoon si délégation bi ñu nga fay leen foofu waaye ñun dañ ko jël rek jox ko national team yi di ko séddale seen diggante and léegi nga am ñaar ñetti national team ñu am ne si biir at bi ñoo nekk di compete ko ñeneen waaw si gàttal daal lii la waaye dina ñëwaat pour dinaa tënka dinaa mën a dem si biir
loolu na ma ne pour ñu gën a waxtaan li nga xam ne mooy national team bi ak xaalis bu si li nga xam ne mooy A-team bi parce que daf dee yokkal li nga xam ne rek mooy loon bi si kaw GFF waaye di la gërëm di la jaajëfal si programme bi lan moo sa mujjee kàddu
soo mujjee kàddu mooy rek di ñàkk di ñaan muy GFF muy government private sector mu jara public bi ñu yëpp nit ñu bokka loxo bokka xalaat bokka éni ñu dimbali su ndaw yi jël leen yóbbu si kaw parce que ku la wax ni fédération bi mun naa jël dépense national team kooku daf laa naan kooku bu taw wax lan mooy dépense football parce que soo xoolee benn national team mooy national team bu mag bi su fekkoon 21 million la su ko jëlee si xayma su amee ñeneenti match juróomi match si benn at su amee juróomi match rek dafa mel ni xaalis boo jot FIFA yi moom jël so moo tax naa ni FIFA namuñ toon pour nga dugal seen xaalis national team mu ngaa jël $250,000 bi nga loolu nga facilité ko moo tax nga gis ñun foofu la dee utalee national team players seen passeport yi su gaa yi train Gambia fii la ba pare baax na tamit ñu xam ni soo xoolee budget bi su passé coach bi ñoo wax Alhaji Sarr Abdou Bojang Abdou Diame Abdoulaye Bojang Matar Mbodj woon ñi yëpp si xaalis bi leen doon fayee da ngaa gis ni kóol bu mag salaire nekku fi de waaye dañ ko doon fay. parce que yaakaar moo amoon ni su ñoo fay naam gannaaw government dina ñëw su ñëwoon rek. ñu mën a jël dellu si bopp. so loolu moo tax da ngay ne ñu taw ñu mën a dem si banque bi jël bopp. moo tax da ngaa gis ni si Abdou es ñu dugg si nii mooy 2024 bi nii balaa ñu dugg foofu rek ñun suñu diggante banque rek amoon nañ 62 to 63 millions. si bopp loo xam ne loolu yëpp lan la woon pour national team parce que ñun da war a liggéey ak government jàppalante so lii mooy fu ma daaneel yow jërëjëf tamit di jégalu nag parce que wax moom nekkul ba pare di wax ñëpp na maa leen di sas suma saliko GFF soo mën a ju GFF sax seen bopp wéef waaw suma saliko baa ne léegi
comme is always well bu ko waxee rek dinañ jël waxtu pour ñu ñëw faram-fàcceel leen si local language bi muy Mandinka ak Socé boobu strict la boobu amul benn angale bi daf day jël la ko xaw a time waaye dinañ ñëw strictly si local language bi pour ñu waxtaanee li nga xam ne mooy breakdown of all these figures xam naa ñu bari ñu ngi wax ne figures yi dañ rëy ak yooyu noonu waaye suñ ko breakee down maanaam di ngeen ko understand li nga xam ne rek mooy budgeting bi fii si Gambia Football Federation di jaajëfal képp koo xam ne rek jël nga sa waxtu di seetaan li nga xam ne rek mooy football house updates fii si suñu headquarters bi Cardiff fi mu ngi leen jaajëfal lu bari suma production team bi fii suma producer bi di ko wax Ibrahima Souare jàppal si programme bi trop di ko jaajëfal lu bare ci taxawaayam si programme bi Omar Touré mu nekk moom moo nekk si technical department bi si wàllum vidéo si ak everything loo xam ne dafa dem si programme bi Mariama Thomas ma dooma ak Mamadou Diané ki nga xam ne mooy moom tamit he's part of the production team di jaajëfal képp koo xam ne rek ñoo doon seetaan nag la Mariama Boudiane di la ñaanal li nga xam ne rek mooy korité bu neex xamuñ na ëllëg la dagara ëllëg waaye Ibrahima daal muy xala caani te mbir bi ëllëg la war a nekk waaye ñu ngi ñaanal ñëpp korité jàmm di la ñaanal qualité bu neex a neex comme oncle Ismaël ko waxee rek suñu salibo bi ñu ko xaar thank you very much and have a fantastic day